Oh no, you know. Oh, okay.
Ya, ma da. What's goody to the goddess and the gods, and what's popping to the people? Y'all see what's consciousness is coming back, so you know I'm repping my youngin. His show gonna be fire too. This next go round. He got his weight up, so y'all gonna have to deal with him. Y'all gonna have to deal with the youngin. So I'm doing my 1-2, man. About to see what Facebook talking about, but I don't know. We might not stay there the whole time. We might not stay here the whole time if they don't treat us right, family. See, we got to be like that sometime. We got the right to be like that sometime. All right, here we go. Yahoo, family, Yahoo. We got shit everywhere, but we gonna make it happen. Oh, y'all ain't gotta be all up on me like that, family. All right. Anywho, well, let me get my life together. All right, hold on. So, they everybody keep asking me why I haven't done a show on Jamie Foxx. Saying if your show is supposed to be about what's going on with black people, Jamie Foxx is one of the biggest black issues in America that's been going on for a month, and I haven't touched it. That's what they said to me. So, I mean, I can take constructive criticism. I don't understand why we don't know exactly what happened to Jamie Foxx by now, but that's fine. Y'all family, and I'm going to take time for that. So, so are we still doing this thing where we pretend celebrities are good guys and then we just act oblivious to everything that's common sense? We still playing that game? It's cool. I'll do that with you. So, I did a little peeking into it. The reason why I only did a little peeking into it because this shit is. First, y'all say I need to get off the celebrities. Then, when I leave them alone, you ask me why I ain't talking about them. So, this is business as usual. You can't be the biggest actor in Hollywood and not be a part of the bullshit. It's just not possible. I know y'all like to believe because y'all say shit like, so what you trying to say? We ain't got no talent? Like we can't make it without them? No, I'm not saying that. We happen to have all the motherfucking talent on the planet. But some strange reason we think we need white people to admonish that talent. So then, you know how that go. And in a lot of instances, I get it. I ain't trying to act like I'm not comprehensive to exactly why it goes the way it goes. I be telling y'all. So like we learn from our mistakes. We seen a comedian come from a small town in Ohio and take over the comedy world in 1 year. And at his height, I don't know, it could probably even more now, but I know at one point it cost you $150,000 to $200,000 to get Cat Williams in your building. I said 150,000 to 200,000 for you to come in my building and tell me jokes for 60 seconds. Whoa. I'm definitely in the wrong career. I'm all uptight trying to bring y'all this information that could get me killed when I could literally go on stage, smoke a joint, talk some shit, and cash the fuck out. What, y'all act like I ain't funny? I could tell jokes. Shit, I could tell jokes if I wanted to. Anyway, so what happened to Cat Williams? Well, Cat Williams had a routine where he told you about the cocaine and the parties and the homosexual activity in the private Hollywood parties. And after Cat Williams told us what happens in those private Hollywood parties, all of a sudden he was stealing his own coin collection and kidnapping his own children. And y'all believed it. They had him on TV looking like a crackhead. And I'm a quick study. You can't slide one past me. So that show he did where he bugged the fuck out and he was tripping real hard, y'all didn't do nothing but watch it and make fun of him. But when I watch anything, I be looking for shit. So I noticed at the beginning of the show, Too Short said, "Who slipped Cat Williams something? Y'all done slipped Cat Williams one." And then he said, "No, I'm just playing." And he went on with the show. No, he wasn't just fucking playing. So this is what they do. So let's look at it this way. You at your height of heights, you're saying things that maybe you shouldn't be saying. Hold on, y'all, for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. Let me get this together. So you at your height of heights and you saying things that you shouldn't be saying. And then oh shit, hold on, man. What did happen? They cut the book off. They be fucking with me. My fault, y'all. They hating on you. They hating on the God, man. So, damn. I done kicked the family out the room. We was starting to cook up too. So, my whole thing is this. The entertainment business, y'all don't seem to get. So I'm gonna put it in a framework that you can understand, and it's really gonna segue into what we're talking about tonight. Because tonight you're gonna learn tonight. We ain't doing no more bullshit shows. Every show I do, I'm gonna hit you hard as fuck. Now, whoever chooses to watch is on them, because this is a catalog. It's gonna exist regardless. That's what we're doing. We creating a catalog for generations. So if you have a small club, the entertainment world, the acting world, that's a small elite group of what they call movers and shakers. They got a way. Now, we're going to get out of the spooky shit. We're going to get out of the whole thing where we ain't going to put no elite secret society, nothing. We're not going to even go there. We're just going to use common sense thought processes right now. So, like, you got what they call the movers and shakers, the heavy hitters, the nightlife. If anybody ever really been in it, the nightlife is a world of its own. And especially the bigger the money, the bigger the opportunity and possibilities of what could and could not happen. So now, with that being said, nights can get pretty wild, because when you got unlimited drugs and unlimited money, that means the sexual activities and the fun gets unlimited. Okay, well, after a couple of years of that, the normal things that may entertain you and I gets boring. How many times can you do that when you got millions of dollars and you're doing it consistently and it's starting to not phase you anymore? You got to take it up a notch. The parties get wilder, more erotic, more money, more drugs. Okay, so now when you in this type of environment, this actor, this actress, this entertainer, after years of being in certain circles, y'all get to know each other. So I might not know you as far as really know you, but I've seen you several parties, maybe popped a couple bottles with you, salute you, and then we kept it moving. Okay, so now at some point, we end up at a puffy party or whoever. We're going to say a puffy party. Those are the biggest parties going on when P. Diddy throw a party. Okay, so now you get the invitation and you there. And like, you there for you. You don't give a fuck what's going on. But you seeing all kind of shit. Naked people running around, men kissing on men in the corner. And it's like, wait a minute. That's an actor you grew up watching that, as far as you knew, they portray as a sex symbol. But he over in the corner sitting on a boy lap. Oh, well, fuck, that's another actor you know from a different show. Damn, they make him okay. All right. So you seeing this type of shit. And not only are you seeing it, you bugging over the fact that nobody seems to give a shit. So obviously this is the norm. This is business as usual. So now that's fine. You were there. You've seen it. That was a privilege. That was them seeing how you could handle being at the level you're at. So now consider it this way. If an attractive woman give you a phone number, would you go tell everybody, hey, I got her number? That would be considered childish. If you met an attractive woman, it went out, queen. We just got back. You didn't miss nothing much. So if you meet an attractive woman and let's say it goes past just hanging out and it becomes y'all have sex. Okay. There's an unsaid comprehension that you're not supposed to go to social media and be like, hey, me and so-and-so just had sex. Or you shouldn't go live like, yeah, I was partying with so-and-so. She finally came over and gave me some action. She doesn't have to tell you shouldn't say that. It's just kind of a thing you know. And vice versa. You wouldn't want her to go do the same thing. Now, my point is, okay, we understand that. But what we don't understand is we shouldn't do this about a party. So if you at this elite party, the assumption is you're mature enough to handle whatever the fuck you see and not go out running tattletale like, oh, I saw boys kissing. At this level, boys always kiss. So what? Now, these are not my beliefs or my thoughts, but I'm telling y'all, this is what you're dealing with. So at this point, it's like, hold on. We allowed you into our circle and you told what you saw. Now, for Cat Williams, you're new. We're going to give you a spanking. Now, they spanked the shit out of him. And he tapped out. And they let him come back. And he found a safe space. Talking about shit he really don't know and making y'all think he do, which is politics. He doesn't know shit about politics. But most of his stand-up was rooted around shit like that, which is fine. So, Jamie Foxx, the same guy who made fun of Cat Williams when it happened to him and said he had a drug problem. Now, they did the same shit to you, didn't they, Jamie? Jamie Foxx is on the set of his movie or show, whatever show he filming, and he called the cops and report he don't feel safe type shit. He filed a police report before this happened, said that he was getting phone calls and he felt like his life was in danger. Now, why would Jamie Foxx's life be in danger? Jamie Foxx, he's not a gangster rapper. As far as we know, he didn't pull a Michael Jordan and got gambling problems and shit. Now, I mean, he could have. Maybe that's it. Maybe Jamie Foxx owed the mafia for a bunch of gambling debts. That could be it. So why is Jamie Foxx life in danger? Why does Jamie Foxx tell you he feel like somebody's trying to kill him? Why did Jamie Foxx call the police on the set of his show and tell the cops when they got there he felt like someone was trying to kill him? See, this is the shit that we just breeze over. And then when I come up here and tell you what I tell you, then you be like, conspiracy. What the fuck do you mean conspiracy? The man called the cops and said he thinks someone trying to kill him. Hopefully somebody's not trying to kill one of y'all ass one day because y'all don't never believe shit. So you're going to be the same person who needs somebody to believe him, and there ain't nobody going to believe your ass. So now, why? So now if you go to, you can just pay attention and you keep seeing these little clips of Jamie Foxx telling jokes about the party. Jamie, why the fuck are you talking about a P. Diddy party and what you seen when you just watched them damn near kill Cat Williams for the same shit? And now Jamie Foxx, see, this is what you call a sidewinder though. I'm going to teach you about, now, we all know I'm not on the side of the elite, but I'm going to teach you about a sidewinder. I learned something from my closest partner. Broski taught me something one day. We was watching Scarface, and it get to the scene where Scarface shoot Manolo's bodyguard because he want to kill the woman and the kid. And they supposed to put the bomb under the car, and they supposed to kill dude. But dude come out with his woman and his kid, something unsuspected. Now the bodyguard gonna blow her ass to smithereens anyway, because that's the mission. Now for the first time, Scarface that sat at the table he was lower level. He finally get a chance to sit at the table with the big boys. These dudes control nations and own islands, and they just slid you in. And so now they say, we trust you to go with him and handle this business, since we know you like to get your hands dirty. Now he want to prove himself to the big boys. He say, hey, no problem. You want them taken out? I take them out. Now when it's time to take them out, the wife and kid get in the car. Scarface say, stop. He say, no, I can't stop. If they say he got to die, he got to die. So right when he getting ready to do the thing, Scarface turn on him, blow his brains out. Now, when Scarface go back home, he snort more cocaine than is humanly possible. So if they hadn't killed him, he was probably going to die anyway, just for everybody who got sentimental when they blew his shit back. But either way it go, when he called the dude and say, dude say, what happened? Did you deal with it? He said, no. I had to take care of your buddy because I told him we can do it a different day, and he didn't listen, so I had to take care of him. Who the fuck are you? Some foreign guy we just let in? That's how they look at it. You're a runner that we just let sit at the table with us because you'll do grimy shit. And the one thing you're supposed to be good at, you couldn't get done. Now, naturally, like most other people, I sided with Scarface. I told best friend, I said, man, best friend said he shouldn't have did that. I said, fuck that. I'd have blew his head off too. He said, no. I said, hell no. It's women and kids in there. We don't kill women and kids. He said, then we shouldn't have went. Fuck, I hate when they write in those type of spaces. He say, when you make a commitment on that level, there is no cutoff. The difference between failure and success is that car exploding, no matter who's in it. So if it doesn't explode, we fail. If it does, we succeed. We don't got time to worry about the occupants because we accepted the job. Fuck, he's right. Does that mean that I agree with killing women and children? Of fucking course not. But listen to what's being said. Don't get in this. What they tell you in the movie Heat. Don't get into nothing you can't get out of if you don't smell the heat coming in 30 seconds flat. If you can't see a way out, then don't get your ass in. It's no guarantee anybody's going to be in a car alone if you're sent to attack someone in a car. Who could guarantee that? Anybody could have been in that car. So I shouldn't be there if I'm not willing to do whatever it is I committed to do. So now, I said all that to say this. Look at it this way. When you come to, hold on 1 second. Okay, so please hit the like, please hit the share. We about to go in. So you got to look at it this way. Whatever he said he was going to do to earn his seat at that table, that was an all-inclusive commitment, period. Point blank, period. And if he wasn't to commit exclusively, then he shouldn't have been so thirsty for power, but not aware of what it cost. There's so many people thirsty for power, but not aware of what it cost. And then when you get in a position where the devil wants you to deliver, now you got circumstances. Well, the devil doesn't work in circumstances. It doesn't work like that. So you're dealing with people who want the perceived level of power, but get into it not being aware of what it's going to cost. So you don't have the right as Jamie Foxx to come to our environment for all of these years. And now you earn the role as Mike Tyson. You shoot the movie. Mike Tyson personally coaches you through the movie so he can make sure that you do the best job. And then after you're done with the movie, you decide to start making statements about, you speculate that Puffy and Mike Tyson used to have a thing going on. Now, me personally, do I give a shit about them telling? No, tell. If it's me, I snitch immediately. But from a Jamie Foxx perspective, you mean to tell me you set up under us? You let us tutor you. We helped you get the role. Because if Mike Tyson was there to tutor him through, then Mike Tyson has some input on saying, yeah, I want Jamie to play me. He got the blessing from Mike Tyson to play him. And then he got the help from Mike Tyson to play him. And then you turn around and you dry snitch on Mike Tyson. I could get Cat Williams a pass. He was a newfound. He told you in a joke, I'm new to success. I ain't never been to a mansion party. I don't know what I'm going to. Okay. Oops. Shouldn't have said that. And after he came from out of his shit, he said, I realized I'm not going to intentionally stir up the hornet's nest because it's not fun getting stung. Now, I ain't fucking with them still, but I respect the fact that they ain't going to play with my ass. Okay, I get that. But Jamie Foxx, you've been one of the good old boys for a long time. You know how they play. You know how the gang go. You know the ins and outs. And you decide to start talking about the parties and what's happening at the parties. And then you throw Mike Tyson and Puffy under the bus. I don't give a shit about them. Thank you. But You had to know that was gonna hurt, bro. So this is, in my opinion, this is what we dealing with. Like, if y'all, that's the part that we don't understand, because he got this character where he danced and he always partying and smiling, and he missed the fun guy. But you get a glimpse into his temper every once in a while. But you have to understand where his nickname came from, Puffy. Because he puff up. He has a really bad fucking temper. That's where his name came from. His dad was one of the biggest gangsters of his era. His dad used to be the partner with what's his name from the Denzel White? Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas and Puffy Daddy. Puffy Daddy was Melvin. They used to be partners. They asked Frank Lucas about Melvin. He said he was a slick dresser. He was a gentleman. He barely raised his voice, but he'll kill you in a heartbeat. That's what Frank Lucas said about Puffy Daddy. So see, you just got to know who you dealing with. Y'all be so ready to give people passes and say this, then the third. Understand who and what you're dealing with. You're dealing with an industry that is built off things that you don't understand. It's not about what you believe. It's about what you comprehend. And your comprehension of what these things are has to elevate so that you can really get into the game. So there's my my Jamie Foxx spiel. I ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time on it. I am pretty sure he talked too damn much, and now they dealing with his ass. Which I know y'all probably thinking, damn, you harsh as hell. This brother is. I don't give a fuck about him. I don't like him. I don't give a shit about him. I mean, I think he's a good actor. Past that point, I don't like when you play with them people. You don't get no remorse from me. You playing with them, fuck you. And like he playing heavy, and he don't not know Drake. Jamie Foxx been cross-dressing since the early 90s. He know what the fuck it is. He been new. He been broke him, man. Please stop. He the one in the see-through shirt talking about he want to have sex with Lenny Kravitz years ago. Google it. Fuck out of here. And he went in a whole tirade about how sexy Lenny Kravitz is and how he want to have man sex with him in a whole little tirade. So I don't, and that doesn't mean anything. That's his personal life, but I don't like deception. I don't like the guys that play macho and then behind the scenes they be on some other shit. I don't like that. So either way it go. My other thing I want to deal with is the brat. I would like to say I'm disappointed, but I barely can say shit. I've been seeing it coming. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it took this long. So the brat, even is the she usually is the masculine aspect in a homosexual female relationship. She has a wife. It's fine, whatever. But she decided to get pregnant. That usually goes the other way. But see, y'all got a peep game. I'm finna put y'all up on game. Now, people is like, okay, they don't understand why Brat chose to get pregnant. Pay attention, it won't pay you. What are they pushing right now? They're pushing men getting pregnant. Remember Lil Nas X? The couple surgeries they had successfully with the white boy. So they're pushing transgenderism and men getting pregnant. Brat is the masculine aspect of the relationship. That's why they got her pregnant. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? This is how they play. See, y'all ain't thinking on the right level. This is how they play. So Brat represents masculinity. So she represents masculinity being able to carry children, which is what they're promoting. So that's why she's the one that's carrying the baby. Now, on the flip side of that, her and her wife decided to get a white male donor. And she said because the black donor looked like Jimmy the Cricket. So allegedly there was this process of elimination. And after all the processes of elimination, she had predominantly white donors and one black donor. And the black donor was very unattractive, so she went with a white guy. That's the script she ran. That's bullshit. I just told you what's going on. They're pushing an agenda. Y'all don't, you have to stop thinking that everything you see is not part of the agenda. It all is. There is no, it'd be so hard to explain because y'all caught up in this thing where you just don't understand. Like, the world is rigged. It's past the point of letting people do what they think. And I'm about to hands down prove it tonight. Every time I tell you I'm gonna hands down prove something, I prove it. I'm gonna hands down prove to y'all that they have been tricking you your entire fucking life. How about that? How about I'm gonna prove it in a couple minutes? I'm gonna prove it. Ain't gonna be no more debating about what's really going on. So everything that you see, and from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, everything that you experience is a simulated agenda. I already broke down the box thing to y'all, how everything you participate in from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep is a box. That's not accident, that's intentional. Because what do they tell you? Think outside of the box. So what do they give you? Nothing but boxes all day, every day. Why? So that you can think inside of the box. Your bed is a box. Your shower's a box. Your TV's a box. Your cell phone's a box. The cabinet's a box. The refrigerator's a box. Your pillow that you sleep on is a box. The mirror that you get dressed in front of, it's a box. Everything's in a box. The video games you play, box. The video game you play, it's a box. The laptop, box. Box, box, box. The stove, the sink, everything, boxes, boxes, boxes. The washing machine. The dishwasher, car doors, the car windows. It's all boxes, 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 boxes. Why? So you can think inside of the box. But they tell you think outside of the box. It's impossible to do so when you're always in a box. You must understand what's really going on, brethren. So now, this ideology of men getting pregnant, they're using brat. And now, watch this. Since y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about, watch this. Watch, you're about to see an influx in lesbian relationships. Watch you start seeing the studs get pregnant. Watch what I tell you. Watch you start seeing the studs of the lesbian relationships start having a desire to be the ones carrying the babies. Watch what I tell you. This is 2023. 5/9/23. It's 5/9/23. Mark my prediction. We're going to tap back in 5/9/24 and see what happens. Watch. Now, so now, when you see what they did, then you understand they did this whole process and only came up with one black man. That's either a lie or they rigged it. Either way, it's a lie. There was never going to be a black baby coming out of, you got two black wombs and an opportunity of a lifetime. You're not missing that opportunity for what? They're part of the system. They were never going to have a black baby. Why? They know what it's like being black in their space. They could raise a white baby. That white baby is going to have everything it ever need. Why would you have a black one from their positioning? It's a fucking game, and y'all better get in it. The ideal that she couldn't have chosen any other black man and a white man was their only option. Yeah, straight trash. Trash, Ola. Trash to the fifth power. We already know it's trash. So now, the thing is this right here. or damn near both of them pregnant. Yeah, but they're gonna start going with the opposite energy. I can tell you that now. So now you got to think about it. This is another industry thing where they got you thinking it's one thing and it's something different, and we arguing about it. First thing on Clubhouse, that's the first thing we was talking about today. Everywhere I've been, that's what the topic of conversation is: the brat having a white baby. You didn't think she knew that when she made the decision? You didn't think that 2 black women choosing to have a white baby wouldn't become the #1 trending topic in America? Who the fuck? Why would you not think it would? You see how this thing works? Now you move somebody who's damn near socially irrelevant back to the top of conversation. It's important for them to stay in headlines. That's your worth. When the tabloids lose interest in you, your stock go down. So they're always going to be willing to do something that's going to bring the world back to it. They say there's no such thing as bad press. So even if the world come out and say, we hate y'all stupid, what the fuck does that mean to them? She's still going to go on her show. She's still going to get whatever ratings, and the ratings will go higher because they hate her now. So people will watch the show just to put stupid shit in the comment section. People will literally watch your show, make your ratings go up, not understanding that. While they're in the comment section talking about how shitty you are, there's a tally count on the comments. Oh, it's 1,000 comments made. Nobody cares that most of them are negative. Nobody's reading it. They're just reading the tally. So now let's deal with what we're dealing with. I'm gonna try to flip it over here for y'all because we finna start watching some shit. Unless y'all wanna come on over to YouTube. Y'all know where it's at, especially you queens. Y'all know exactly where it's at. Misinformation Nation on YouTube. Because I got a lot of visuals. Well, not a lot, but I got some because what I want to do something different. I always I get the information, chop it up, and I give it to y'all in bits and pieces. And we do it like that with slides and shit. But I'm thinking let's do some film study on so we can play the information like I would do by myself, and then we're gonna break it down so y'all can hear what I hear. And it's better like that too, because this is important. We all have children, and so the education system is important. And I know a lot of us will quickly say, the education system is bogus or the education system is racist. Tonight, I'm going to prove that before the education system was racist, it was a piece of shit and didn't give a fuck. Oh, yeah, you know Miss Smallwood, they definitely idolize the celebrities. But what we're going to deal with tonight is that it was shitty through the door. The creation of it, before it was even about a black child, it was shitty through the door. Hold on, where we go? All right, I'm trying to see which one I'm gonna do first. This let me see this one. Let me see. Now, another thing is too, we're not gonna do the thank you, Miss Wife Lady. We're not gonna do the full thing. We're gonna stop it. I got certain points periodically. We're gonna stop it and break down certain shit. Cause this is heavy right here. All right, I'm finna flip it over for y'all. Let's see. Can y'all see? Damn. Let me see. Okay. Y'all gonna, is that? Yeah. All right. Well, good enough. All right. So now let's deal with this one right here. Oh, let me get the headphones for y'all. And now, all right.
Late 1800s, and you have a big problem.
Nope, that ain't the right one. It's the right one.
So you're a titan of industry in the early 20th century. You've monopolized the oil industry and destroyed competitors using shady business practices. Why would you want competition? Competition is terrible unless you have control over it. Better yet, why not teach people that they cannot compete? After all, you don't want a nation of thinkers, you want a nation of workers. You are John D. Rockefeller. Here is the dark truth of the school system. In 1903, John D. Rockefeller founded the General Education Board, and within 5 years, he would donate $1.27.
I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta stop it. That's the wrong one. My fault.
It's the Industrial Revolution, and you have this giant oil empire, but you simply can't find enough wage slaves to keep the wheels turning. Unlike today where you can just make a job post online and a bunch of educated laborers will come flocking your way, back then most of America was rural. Most of America lived simple lives on farms. They were homeschooled, they went to schools ran by churches. They didn't know how to work a factory job or at an oil refinery. They weren't conditioned to clock in and out. So you needed a way to educate the population on a massive scale so they could come work for you. However, we don't want to educate them too much now, do we? Remember, knowledge is dangerous. There's a reason why slaves weren't allowed to learn how to read or write. So if you're gonna educate the masses, you have to tread very carefully. Teach them too much and they'll become too ambitious, too independent. They'll think for themselves. They'll become your competitors. Instead, you want to teach them just enough so they can keep your empire running with a happy, obedient smile on their face. So what did you do? You helped pioneer the American public school system.
Okay, 1 second, because that's important, y'all. That initial base concept we have to understand. If the plan was ever to truly educate the American people, doesn't matter what race or color, anybody, the only thing a genuine education does is create competition. Because like right now, we got shit on lock. And the whole point is to make sure that our children get what's coming up next. That's why important people always send their children to they never send them to public school. Why is that? And we already know, because if you go to private school, you can get better education. Why do we accept that? What does that even mean? See, the information is always in the statements that we overlook. So as soon as I make this statement, the reason why rich people send their children to private schools because they get a better education. I am indirectly saying that I know public school education is not as good as it could be. Wait a minute. Wait. See, we can't go past that. That's something that y'all would just look past. No. We can't look past that. How do you wake up every day, send your little melanated genius to a place that you openly admit is racist, and you openly admit that they intentionally withhold levels of education and save it for rich people? That right there is a topic. We don't even got to listen to shit else. Every day you wake up and send your little black child to a place that you know is racist, and you know they withhold education for people with more money. That's a problem already. No matter whether we go any further in this goddamn video or not, that's a serious fucking issue. My fault, Facebook. So it's these little things like this that we overlook that are extremely significant. All right.
All of a sudden, every parent could just send their kids off to a free public school funded by good old Rockefeller. To the rest of the world, you looked like a saint. You were giving free education to all those uncivilized, ignorant Americans. But you and I know the truth. By dangling the prospect of free education in front of millions of American parents, you were able to trick them into relinquishing their children to the state. That way, for 8 to 12 years of a child's most formative years, you get to condition them to be exactly who you want them to be. You get to decide what they learn and don't learn. You get to decide how they see the world. You get to condition them to be scared, to be fearful, to be obedient, to not chase after their dreams, to accept mediocrity. You get to teach them that if they don't follow orders exactly to the T, they are a failure.
I can't believe it.
B is for bitch!
Because these are the traits that make for a good laborer. And it worked. By giving every American access to free, standardized public education, you were able to.
So now, peep the play. We say free education, but we make it mandatory. If you don't enroll your child in school, they fine you, charge your child with truancy, and if you do it enough times, the state can step in and remove your child from your home for not going to school. But look what we just learned. Upon its inception, the purpose of school was never for better education. This process went into full swing in 1905. Okay, according to them, they abolished slavery in 1865. Now, you got to make the connection. So here's what this says. I no longer have free labor. But if I make school mandatory, I can breed workers the same way I breed slaves without using force. So now, two things happened after slavery was abolished. The 13th and 14th Amendment, which said that there's no such thing as slavery unless servitude. So unless you're incarcerated, you can't be enslaved. But if you're incarcerated, you can be enslaved. So then they never got rid of slavery. Then they say, you're free to do whatever you want. Oh, but it's mandatory that your children come here every fucking day. And now they call it free public schooling. But then how the fuck do you pay taxes? You pay taxes. So the public school is not free. And what are you learning to do? You're learning to go to high school, go to college, and do what? Get a job. So the purpose of the purpose of education was not to make you more intelligent. It was to breed better workers. But don't listen to me, let the white people tell you.
Labor problem in America. Now, every generation that came after it would go into school filled with innocence, creativity, and joy, and they would come out of school as an obedient worker that doesn't want to rock the boat. Workers who are perfectly happy making their employers rich.
Education system is predicated on the idea of academic ability. And there's a reason. The whole system was invented around the world. There were no public systems of education really before the 19th century. They all came into being to meet the needs of industrialism.
Ah yes, our entire education system today was created because John D. Rockefeller needed more workers. But it wasn't just Rockefeller. No, loads of other rich American tycoons poured billions of dollars into creating the modern-day education system we have today. These are the same wealthy dynasties behind big oil, big food, big pharma, and they all wanted to provide you with free education, while they send their kids to private schools. As Rockefeller once said, I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. These are the dark origins of our education system, and why you want to stay dangerous.
For generations,
we don't want a nation of thinkers, we want a nation of workers. So all the guys with the money came together and decided, let's put all our money into this education thing and we can force the play. So to make it mandatory 8 hours a day, the state gets your children. You don't understand what prior to this. So think about this. In the Black community, we always talking about how we don't stick together and how we don't trust each other, blah, 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 blah. Until the 1800s, parents raised their own goddamn children and taught their children what they wanted them to know. Do you understand that? That was only a couple hundred years ago. So until then, parents taught their own children and told their children what they wanted them to fucking know. And they realized you can't build a nation without free labor. That's how we got this big, is through free labor. So they reversed the game. Instead of begging you to come do work or forcing you to come do it, they made it so that like you dying to get a job and come work. So your whole purpose is to tread through school so you can do what? Get a job. Not so you become the master of your destiny and pursue. No. That's why we were saying, how do most people go to college and end up nowhere? Because it's not the purpose of it. The purpose of college or school is not for you to succeed. It's for you to be a better worker. So they say, how come all the what they teach you at school, how come it's so mundane and repetitive? Because it's only information that you can work. We were saying, I'm not gonna use certain levels of math. Well, you will if you do construction, which they hoping your ass gonna do. Who else gonna build the cities? They got home ec, teach your ass how to cook. They got all these classes that teach you marketing. Everything teaches you how to be a worker. There are no boss classes anywhere.
To blame failing schools on failing neighborhoods. But reformers have begun to believe the opposite, that the problems of failing neighborhoods might be blamed on failing schools.
I'd like for this country to have a real education president for a change.
I'd like to be the education president.
I don't ever expect to sign my name to any law that is more important than the Education Act in 1965.
The day of reckoning is here.
If you watch this channel, you're probably serious about gaining money and power, which is great. But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna need a great wallet that can keep up with your ambitions. And the wallet I've been using every single day for the past 3 years is my Exter wallet. Exter is the smartest wallet out there that has been seen on Forbes, Hypebeast, BuzzFeed, and I absolutely love mine. It's got a quick access trigger that I recommend. The origins of the American education system can be traced back to something called the Prussian Empire. The Prussian Empire is the empire that made up modern-day Germany, and these Prussians were geniuses at controlling the masses. See, in the late 1700s, Prussia invaded Poland, and they won. Prussia now occupied Poland. But the Prussians now faced a new problem. Sure, they controlled Poland, but how were they gonna get the Polish people to accept their new German rulers? They were the colonizers, the enemy, and yet somehow they needed to get the entire population to throw away their Polish identity and to accept imperial German nationalism. But the Prussians weren't stupid. They knew they had no chance in changing the minds of the adults. The adults were proud Polish people. They were set in their ways. There's no hope in converting them. But the children? The Polish children were much more moldable. And if they could attack the children, they could decimate Polish culture in just 1 generation. So, Prussia created a new 8-year education system, where for 8 years kids would go to school and learn things like reading and writing, but they would also learn how to listen to orders. They would learn how to do as they're told, to respect the authority of their Prussian leaders. And this new Prussian education system worked. One Prussian philosopher brilliantly described their education model by writing,
"Education should be aimed at destroying free will, so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. When the technique has been perfected, every government that has been in charge of education for more than 1 generation will be able to control its subjects securely, without the need of armies or policemen."
Wait. Did you fucking hear this? See, y'all think I just be making up shit. This is the people who are at the helm at the beginning of education telling you what their intentions are. Education should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmaster would have wished. When the technique has been perfected, every government that has been in charge of education for more than one generation will be able to control them without the use of police or armies. Now, y'all can't tell me this is not some diabolical shit, but they used research and science and came up with a formula to control humans. Don't y'all understand that? Y'all be sitting around talking about you can't be controlled and you can't be manipulated. These people they tell you, they finna tell you, they spent I think it's 3.4 billion at the beginning of education. And they said right now that's cheap, but back then that was a lot of money. So to kick it off, hear me when I tell you, to kick off their initial plan, they put 3.4 billion into a test run. This I be telling y'all. They put 3.4 billion into a fucking test run. They never did this shit before. They just seen another nation do it. What if it flops? They just out 3.4 billion. Fuck it. So when someone has access to information, unlimited finance and resources, and all you do is watch reality TV, smoke blunts, and sip Henny, and you under the impression that they can't pull one over on you, fucking get real. So, yes, there's something going on other than what the simplistic can see. And yes, they have an agenda. And yes, that motherfucker is thick. But just the first line, education should be aimed at destroying free will. You don't got to read nothing else. Education should be aimed at destroying free will. Okay, at what age does education begin in America? Kindergarten, your 5-year-old. So they created a system where from the age of 5, you start bringing in other people's children with the intention of destroying free will. And that goes on from kindergarten until they graduate high school, potentially college. And it used to be 8 years of school, and they turned it into 12. And it's mandatory 8 hours a day. Legally. You can't do a fucking thing about it. Your day, every single day, must start with sending your children to total strangers. And those strangers built a system that is designed and aimed at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking. Wait 1 fucking minute. I got to read this again. Education should be aimed at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmaster would have wished. So how many times have you had a debate with your child over what your teacher said? Your teacher overruling shit in your household and they never been there. You tell your child, do so-and-so, such and such. Your child fired back at you, but my teacher said. All right. Y'all can keep on thinking these people playing with you. I'm so sorry to Facebook. I keep slamming y'all down. I'm so sorry. I ain't trying, but it done got hectic over here. Shit done got real. All right, let me get y'all back. I'm trying to get Facebook back popping, y'all. All right. Whoa, shit. Broadcast ended. Cancel. Why they keep fucking with me? Oh my God. Bro. See, this is why I quit Facebook in the first place, y'all. And y'all keep bringing y'all ass over here and they keep cutting me off. I don't see why y'all don't just come to YouTube. It helps the views. Y'all all should be subscribed to this fucking thing anyway. If you're not, subscribe now. Leave a comment, like, and share. Y'all be up here every week and I read one comment. Leave a comment, like, share. And I don't know, maybe we'll get Facebook back. But okay, so let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving, y'all.
Generation will be able to control its subjects securely without the need of armies or policemen.
It was as poetic as it was true. Basically, if you want a submissive population that you can rule over, you have to destroy their free will. You have to condition them not to think. Thinking is the enemy, and you have to start this conditioning when they're as young as possible. So, every Polish and Prussian child was required to attend school for 8 years. 8 years where day in and day out, these kids were force-fed so much Prussian patriotism that by the time they left school, obedience to the Prussian monarchy was the only reality they knew. The Prussian system was so effective that it caught the eye of one person, an influential American politician by the name of Horace Mann. And Horace Mann planned on exporting this Prussian model to the good old US of A. Horace Mann was passionate about reforming American education. It was his life's duty. So in 1843, he traveled across Europe visiting schools to get ideas. But no education system impressed him more than the Prussian model. To him, the Prussian model was a work of art. Here was the roadmap to molding children into anything the elite wanted. If the Prussian model could remove every single trace of Polish culture, what could it do for America? With the Prussian model, it wouldn't matter if kids were Protestant, Catholic, Black, an immigrant, Native American, or even atheists, because we would be able to permanently instill patriotism, duty, and hard work into all of them. And with Horace Mann's political influence.
Now, that's important. That's important. With this new system, think about it. Think about how they killed. We steady talking about the New World Order. They about to come with the New World Order. The New World Order been here. It's not something that's just now happening. Your whole existence has been part of the New World Order. That new money was telling you it's a New World Order. But this school system is a one world government. Think about it. So your kids go to school right now. Your kids got friends that's Muslims, Israelites, atheists, gang members, Christians, all of this shit. Your kids got friends that's every last one of these different things. And they don't give a shit. They just be all in the same class. All got guys that hate each other, but they kids is kicking it. Ain't that something? Your guys allegedly hate each other, but every day your kids be safe together at school. Ain't not nan kid ever been sitting in the middle of class and got hit with a lightning bolt because he don't fuck with Jesus. So they created a one world system. They created a new world order system that says no matter what your belief system is, you still got to drop that child off in this building. And we going to put some Christian shit up anyway, just because we can. You just got to be able to tell them we don't celebrate that. But you're going to still, if you're Muslim, you're going to look at Jesus and Christmas trees all month. So what? We don't give a fuck. But it's a one world system where no matter what your child parents believe in, the child can come and get indoctrinated, because what's the new religion? Patriotism. The P word, patriotism. Y'all don't understand. Patriotism is a religion, because that means y'all got people say, I'm a warrior for Jesus. Okay, well, you got warrior for the country. They call soldiers. They're military men. This patriotism is a religion. So now this new religion says, believe whatever you want to believe, but you still got to stand up for your country. We don't care about your God. Your first obligation is to the nation. And then every morning, watch this though. Watch how they play with you though. So this is what they do though. Hold on. This is what they do though. So they got your little black kid sitting there. No, it don't even got to be black kid. They got all kids sitting there in front of the flag with their hand on their heart, right? And this is the Pledge of Allegiance, right? Now, I take this same hand that's on my heart and just bring it out in front of me. Oh, this is bad, but this is good. This is bad. This is good. Do you think a lot of creativity went into the Hail Hitler thing? You think they sat around and thought long and hard of what they could come up with and just decided, hey, we're going to do this? But wait a minute. What if I did this? Wait a minute. So I could go from a salute to a Hail Hitler. I could go from the Pledge of Allegiance to the Hail Hitler. Why is the salute, the Hail Hitler, and the Pledge of Allegiance all the same fucking thing? This is called indoctrination too, family. I'm not here to play. Just that quick, they could pull the wool over your eyes with a sleight of hand. You go from a racist hater to a patriot. You turn your head. I do like this. As soon as you turn around, I do this. I go from a racist hate monger to a patriot or a dedicated soldier. This is not by coincidence that those three things are the exact same thing, just depending on where you place it on your body. You think I'm the, well, publicly, I'm probably the first one to catch that, but you think they didn't know? So now we got to think about this. I told y'all every week you're going to get some new shit. When you come here, you're going to get some shit never seen you before. This is an indoctrination process. This is a thought out thing.
Tax-funded public schools following the Prussian model slowly started popping up all over America. And slowly but surely, parents, teachers, those in charge, and society as a whole started to accept the Prussian model as the only sensible way to educate the youth. Instead of one big class, schools were divided into separate classes for kids of different ages. Horace also wanted mainly women to be the teachers, which is why women dominate the teaching field today. Teachers were even sent to Prussia to learn firsthand how their system worked. Authorities bought into the Prussian model so much that by 1864, Congress made it illegal for Native American kids to be taught in their native languages. Instead, they were sent to faraway boarding schools so teachers could kill the Indian to save the man. By the end of the 1800s, the Prussian model had taken over America. And by 1900, almost every American state made public school mandatory, meaning that you had to give up your kid to the states or get the kid taken away from you and thrown in prison. Horace Mann changed the face of American public education forever, but the public school system wasn't in its final form yet, because as much as the Prussian model did wonders for the government, it still didn't do much for businessmen like you. And as John D. Rockefeller, you also saw the power of the Prussian model on the masses, and you plan on systematically infiltrating it.
Oh shit. I be fucking up Facebook, I'm sorry. Right.
By the late 1800s, school was mandatory. They were using the Prussian model, but there was still a giant problem. There wasn't any standard curriculum to follow. So most kids ended up learning nothing that would make them useful in an oil refinery, mine, or factory. It doesn't matter how submissive or obedient they are. If they don't have the baseline education needed for your labor, you needed submissive.
So think about this. They had... See, yeah, I be catching everything. So basically what they telling you is they had down there 100 years of education permeating through America and didn't have a curriculum yet. So the only thing you was going to school for was learning obedience. They was indoctrinating you. You wasn't going to really learn shit. It was just teaching you how to sit in class, be obedient, get used to the pass or fail scale. Success equals reward. Lack of success equals punishment. They had to instill that in you. So like a mark on a piece of paper could determine your day. That is a class. That's classism. They just put it on a lower level so you don't look at it like that, and then you be mad at your kid. I used to get fucked up for bad grades. That's classism. Same thing. So now that we've been educating y'all for about 70 years with absolutely nothing, we're gonna have to actually make up something you can learn, because people are getting they graduating school. This shit that we telling you is mandatory. People graduating and becoming homeless bums. The fuck did we go for?
Obedient workers that were also educated to your standards, educated on how work will set them free. So what did you do? You went to your closest confidant, a man named Friedrich T. Gates, and together the two of you created the General Education Board. On the outside, the General Education Board sounded like this very official government board that looked over the education system in America. And that's exactly the vibe you were going for, when in reality, you just created this thing out of thin air and named it the General Education Board. That is the power of a great name. And a year later, thanks to your connections in Washington, the General Education Board went official. It was incorporated by an act of Congress in 1903 with the purpose of the promotion of education in the United States of America without distinction to race, sex, or creed. A very noble sounding cause. While at the same time, this entity would be your Trojan horse to inject more than $3.5 billion in today's money into the public school system. Today, a few $1 billion wouldn't make a dent in the monstrosity that is our public school system. But back then, it was still in its infancy, so $3.5 billion was way more than enough to...
Now, keep in mind what they're saying. For everybody who always saying the conspiracy bullshit, you're literally hearing these people tell you they're putting $3.5 billion into a system of indoctrination. You haven't heard one spot where they said they're out to make you a better individual. No, they're teaching you how to be a worker for a nation. And they spent $3.5 billion on convincing you that that's the best thing for you.
Mold it into whatever you wanted. So with the money and the government charter in hand, the board went on to fund a vast number of public high schools. 912 high schools in the southern states alone by 1914. You also funded universities, medical schools, Ivy League schools, so that when kids finished their conditioning in high school, they would continue their conditioning in higher education. These are the origins of America's love affair with college degrees, by the way.
College graduation has never been more valuable than it is today.
And soon other business tycoons started jumping in on the action. By 1905, Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, founded the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching. Not because he wanted people to learn about the world and become innovators, but because he needed mine managers, operators, engineers, repairmen, smelters, and railroad conductors. And the public started to catch on all this big money moving into education. In 1914, the National Education Association said that,
"We view with alarm the activity of the Carnegie and Rockefeller Foundations, agencies not in any way responsible to the people, in their efforts to control the policies of our state educational institutions, to fashion after their conception and to standardize our courses of study, and to surround the institutions with conditions which menace true academic freedom."
But your infiltration of education had picked up too much steam, too much momentum. There was no way it was gonna slow down now. By 1918, every single state started requiring kids to complete elementary school, and it just picked up from there. From standardized tests to the Carnegie-funded textbooks, to the Department of Education, to labeling and medicating kids that don't do well in this Rockefeller model of education.
Whoa, okay, there's the indicator right now. Okay, so now we set up this system of I told y'all, it's classism. Same thing you see in society. So now we set standards, we set societal standards. And if you fall below what we consider is acceptable, We now have the right to medicate your child. Y'all not thinking. So the first thing is you took the power away from the parents of raising and teaching their children the values they want them to have. Each family is different. So I got a set of values that says I'm Islamic. Why should my child even have to endure anything other than that when I have the means to make sure they don't, if that's what I choose? But the state steps in and says, even though this has been your religion in your family for 300 years, your child still has to leave that and come here every day into a non-Islamic facility and be taught. Mandatory. And now we're going to set standards for that child. Now, this child has been being taught a certain way. Now we're going to set standards. And because this child has always been being taught the Islamic way, it is now falling below the curb in an American Christian society. So now the social workers step in and say, hey, this is unacceptable level for the child. The child must be having attention deficit or a learning disorder. Well, what's that? You see how when we sit around the class and your child is tapping and yeah, okay, that means your child has an attention deficit. He or she can't just be still and be patient. That's why they're not doing well in class. Not because the curriculum is pointless, fucking boring, and brainwashed. It's because your child has a problem paying attention. So now we need to medicate the child. Well, I don't want to medicate my child. Well, you're going to have to find a way to get your child to an acceptable level. Well, I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, then you got to medicate the child. And if you refuse, then the state steps in and forces jail time or forces to take the child from you. If you don't willingly medicate the child who clearly needs medication, then we'll take the kid and do it ourselves. And all of this started with them needing more societal workers. Had nothing to do with whether your child pays attention or not. They needed more obedient workers for their society. And that led to a system that now allows the same people we're talking about to give your child a sex change without your permission. Look where it started at and look where it's at now. It started with people who needed more societal workers. But what was the number one formula? They had to be brainwashed and willing to carry on the lessons instilled in them from the teacher past education. So when you're in a school system full of compromise, rainbow flags, and no patience for melanated children, that is supposed to carry with you even after you're done with school, according to the people who created it. You see how this thing works? This is what you're dropping your children off to every fucking day. Now, am I saying you're not supposed to take the children? Of course, you don't have a choice. They're going to arrest your ass. But I am saying you should be fucking aware of where they're going every day. And don't you dare at some point run up on them kids and ask them what the fuck is wrong with them when you're forcing them into slavery. Now, for the children that's watching, don't use this as a pass to give your mama a hard time or your father a hard time or your mother and father a hard time talking about General said school is worthless. No, you don't have that option. What you have to do is strategize with your parents, be aware of what you're up against, and find a way to make the best decision so that you can take the power back. So this game called education must be played. So you're going to have to learn how to master it and take the power back. The only thing I'm asking you is to, first and foremost, always understand that you're melanated, and that means something different. Now, what it means is going to be on an individual basis. That's something your mother and father have to talk to you about, or you get them to me and we all can talk about it. That's first. That's square one. But you must know the game in order to play it. Some of y'all are content with not knowing the game but still swearing you know how to play. And myself included. And that's a formula that just hasn't been successful. And I don't think it will anytime soon. You want to play the game, you got to know the rules. And I don't think we do. Now, these people are telling you what they did. They created a system built off of nothing other than their necessity. So you must know the inception of education in America had nothing to do with the betterment of your children. It had everything to do with the theft and brainwashing of your children. I'm talking intended purpose. I'm not talking what your history teacher told you. I'm not talking what your professor in college used to show you all kind of love and helped you survive. I'm not talking none of that shit. I'm talking the intended purpose of what you're a part of. You can't erase intention. You can't. Because intention is past tense. Intention has already happened. What I intended to do is gone a second after I intended it. So right now, past tense. Past tense. Just that fast. That's how fast intention doesn't even matter anymore.
And your boy Friedrich T. Gates, who you created the General Education Board with, put it perfectly when he explained what he envisioned for America's education system.
In our dream, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. The present educational conventions fade from our minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill onto a grateful and responsive rural folk. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or of science. We are not to raise up among them authors, orators, poets, or men of letters. We shall not search for embryo great artists, painters, musicians, nor will we cherish even the humbler ambition to raise up among them lawyers, doctors, preachers, statesmen, of whom we now have ample supply.
That is the education system Rockefeller wanted. One that didn't search for the intrinsic gifts endowed in each.
So now they're telling you, we're not looking for special people. We're not looking for people with huge drives, people that are ambitious. So just think about this. They tell you, in order to pursue your ambition and to challenge yourself and go after your drive, they tell you go to school. But what you're hearing right now is school was not designed for the pursuit of ambition. School was not created for ambitious people, free thinkers, and doers. School was created for workers and instruction followers. Understand that while you're there. You got no choice but to be there, but you ain't got to be a damn dummy while you're there. Understand what this thing is built for. Now, while we winding down, I got something else for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what the some of the better thinkers from earlier time periods, how they felt about the educational system. Wait, whoops, my fault, y'all. This is Albert Einstein. It is in fact nothing short of a miracle that the modern methods of instruction have not yet entirely strangled the holy curiosity of inquiry. It is a very grave mistake to think that the enjoyment of seeing and searching can be promoted by means of coercion and sense of duty. Meaning, intellect is to be sought after, not forced. So when you're forcing people to take in benign facts that don't really add up to shit, you're not breeding better people. When you allow people to think freely, then they pursue interests. And therefore, you would still get your society of workers, but people would not be forced to do things just to pay the bills, and everybody would be able to pursue what they really feel. That's how you would get a better society. You would have not the level of violence and aggression, because everybody would have the freedom to pursue what it is they enjoy. Schools are intended to produce formulaic human beings whose behavior can be predicted and controlled. To a very great extent, schools succeed in doing this. But in a national order in which the only successful people are independent, self-reliant, confident, and individualistic, the products of schooling are irrelevant. In a national order in which the only successful people are independent, self-reliant, confident, and individualistic, the products of schooling are irrelevant. Well-schooled people are irrelevant. They can sell film and razor blades, push paper and talk on telephones, or sit mindlessly before a flickering computer terminal. But as human beings, they are useless to others and useless to themselves, dumbing us down. These are the great speakers and philosophers and educators of that time period telling you how they feel. These are people who specialized in education telling you how they feel about the education system. Think about that. Now, this dude is deep. Y'all look into Noam Chomsky. He's got a lot of stuff from the might be late 70s or early 80s up and through the 90s. And he really break down governments and shit like that. It's a white dude, but y'all got to get over there thinking you can't get information from white people. You crazy as hell. They stole all the information. You're going to get the best shit from them. That the mass of the public are just too stupid to be able to understand things. If they try to participate in managing their own affairs, they're just going to cause trouble. Therefore, it would be immoral and improper to permit them to do this. We have to tame the bewildered herd, not to allow the bewildered herd to rage and trample and destroy things. Now, this is from this was a quote. He created a book called Mind Control, and this was a quote from someone else. But the mass of the public are just too stupid to be able to understand things. If they try to participate in managing their own affairs, they are just going to cause trouble. They're just talking about common people are too stupid to understand things. And if they try to manage their own life, they're going to cause trouble. Therefore, now listen, this is the key kicker right here, because this is what the white man truly believes. Therefore, it would be immoral and improper to permit them to do this. So because the public is so fucking stupid, and we are the overseers of the stupid, it would be wrong of us to let these idiots think for themselves. Therefore, by us being right-minded, we have to step in and save the dumbasses from their dumbass self. This is how they feel about you. You're too stupid to manage your own existence. So therefore, by divine right, they are obligated to step in and save your dumbass from yourself. This is literally what they believe. It's called feudalism, divine right. Look it up. Sick are they always. They vomit their bile and call it a newspaper. Now this was Nietzsche. Y'all know the famous philosopher Nietzsche. And he said the newspaper is vomit. They just vomit information out. I keep forgetting who this is. Damn. Resist much, obey little. Walk with me. Yeah. Resist much, obey little. Once unquestioning obedience, once fully enslaved, once unquestioning obedience, once fully enslaved, no nation, state, city of this earth ever afterwards resumes its liberty. So it's saying once you stop questioning and you become fully enslaved, you've never got liberty back. So he's saying there's no nation that ever gave up the same liberties that y'all give up every single day. You don't question shit. You don't challenge shit. You don't challenge authority. You don't go against the grain. You don't do anything to buck the system. And this is universal amongst most Americans. Most Americans wake up every day and do everything within the parameters of anything that would buck the system. And what he's suggesting is there is no nation that has ever taken this approach and got their freedom back. So you're en route. The route that you're going on and have been going for the last couple hundred years is the route that is taken by nations who permanently lose their freedom. So you're en route, statistically speaking, you're en route to permanently lose your freedom according to your behavior. Think about that. According to your daily behavior, you are en route to giving away your freedom and never getting it back. Now, this is something off the grid for a second, but I'm gonna bring it all home when I show y'all this. The 10 principles for climate repentance cited by the organizers. Okay, first of all, you're looking at the new 10 commandments. This came out of Israel, the quote-unquote holy city, whoever the fuck deemed it that. We are stewards of this world. Creation manifests divinity. Everything in life is interconnected. Do no harm. Ha! Look after tomorrow. Ha! Rise above ego for our world. Change our inner climate. Repent and return. Every action matters. Now, I'm going to show you where the slick shit is at. Do no harm. That shit is laughable. Who the fuck is going to enforce do no harm when our government does the most harm? Every government on the planet does the most harm to its citizens every day. So no matter who put this together, do no harm is an implausibility with the current state of the world because no government in charge believes this. Now, look after tomorrow. What that simply means is we're planning for tomorrow. That's where we want your focus at. Not today. Focus on tomorrow. Tomorrow is AI, technology, metaverse, new world order, loss of rights. This is tomorrow. Look after tomorrow. Now, rise above ego for our world. This is the new world. Rise above ego. So that means there's going to be some things you don't like and you don't agree with. But that's just your ego talking. Rise above your ego and do what the greater good is telling you. And you know how I know I'm right? Because right after that, it says change your inner climate. That means your insides. Change how you feel and how you think about things. So you rise above the ego, the shit that's telling you shouldn't dare follow our ass. Then you change your inner climate and don't listen to that. Then you repent for even thinking that shit and return. Then you realize that every action matters. Go back here. Do no harm. We lied. Look after tomorrow. Rise above ego. Change your inner climate. Tell us you're sorry for what you've done. And realize that doing all of that shit is important because every action matters. And keep an open heart. This is a freaking game. But hold on, though. They was at a museum in Israel. And they was taking these the tablets that were remakes of the 10 Commandments. You know, the 10 Commandments supposed to came on two tablets. So they had the fake ones that have been being used on display, and they took them and smashed them. Y'all don't understand the symbology in what you just witnessed. Look at these 10 principles for climate repentance. None of these involve human behavior directly. So remember the thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet another man's wife. These principles that have been embedded in you, those don't matter anymore. It's these new things. Because this is symbolic. This happened in Israel, which is the Holy Land, and they did something that a lot of people didn't catch. Now, for my Christians, pay attention. When Moses went up on a mountain and he came back with the 10 Commandments, he came back and he seen the people participate in everything they wasn't supposed to. And what did he do? He took the tablets, threw them down, and broke them. So what you not understanding, from that moment on, Moses was literally the first lawbreaker. He broke the law. That was symbolic, letting you know that right after receiving those commandments, he was going to break them, because God told him, go down, kill everybody, man, women, and child, and keep the women who have not known men for yourself and your soldiers. How can you give us the commandments to say thou shalt not kill and then order us to go rob, rape, and kill? So the symbolism of Moses breaking the tablets was to let you know that he was about to break the law. Okay, so let's fast forward. They took that law and they threw it on the ground and they crushed it. So what does that mean? They're about to break the law. That's why they gave you this bullshit. Because look what's happening on the other side of the spectrum. You got war going on everywhere. You got the threat of nuclear war. You got sin running rampant all over the place. They're about to break the law. All you got to do is just watch these people. Pay attention, because it won't pay you. And now you see everything they do. There's no random shit. The only thing that's random is your thought process. Everything else is calculated. They know exactly what they're doing. They know when they're doing it. They know why they're doing it. Just because they play dumb with you doesn't mean they really are dumb. So now, back to where we originally were, we're dealing with education. But what we're really dealing with is indoctrination. You're being indoctrinated. Why? Because how else do you run a nation when forced labor is no longer an option? Slavery was about to ruin everything they had worked for. So it had taken its course. They couldn't go forward with it any longer. Had it been up to them, they would have kept your ass in chains forever, but it wasn't possible. It wasn't plausible to do it. Now, let me show y'all how quick they switch on you. The dude who brought this whole educational system ideal to the forefront, was Hintz. His last name was Hintz. Now, when you look him up, they say he was an abolitionist. And y'all be using that, talking about the abolitionists, and y'all think the abolitionists was the good guys. The abolitionists was the visionaries that understood we can't keep you niggas forever. So what this guy who was an abolitionist, who y'all think is the good guys, he was the one that sent the Prussian education system and brought it to America. It's just another system of slavery. So what he realized is, yeah, we can get rid of these niggas and set them free, but we're going to turn around and backdoor and bring it right back. Now, we still going to get our slavery, and we still going to get it forced, but we're going to get it peacefully through something called education. So now, yeah, you got to come here. You got to do what the fuck we say, just like when you were slaves. But now we do it with a smile and give you a snack at lunchtime. But we accomplished the same fucking thing. Nobody's upset. Nobody's on the run for their life. There's no war on your soil every day. Everything's peaceful. And the niggas are happy because they get to learn how to read now. You start doing yourself a disservice soon as you start thinking that there's a thing going on here that ain't a thing.
Is a Missouri rancher that's getting.
Oh, wait, that ain't even yeah, I ain't gonna tap into that. That's for next week. We're gonna deal with these mutilated cows.
$1 billion today, adjusted for inflation. Why would Rockefeller donate such a large sum of money toward American education?
Rockefeller and his fellow robber barons are not loved. Ordinary Americans resent their wealth and power. Oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller, his son, John Jr., decide to redeem their public image. John Sr., to win American hearts and minds, publicizes his philanthropy.
Did he donate his money because he is a good person? Did he donate his money because he truly cared about the American education system? Or did he donate his money to indoctrinate American society? The whole idea of assembling masses of students to be processed by teachers in a centrally located school was a stroke of industrial genius. The whole administrative hierarchy of education, as it grew up, followed the model of industrial bureaucracy. The very organization of knowledge into permanent disciplines was grounded on industrial assumptions. Children marched from place to place and sat in assigned stations. Bells rang to announce changes of time. The inner life of the school thus became an anticipatory mirror, a perfect introduction to industrial society. The most criticized features of education today: the regimentation, lack of individualization, the rigid system of seating, grouping, grading, and marking, the authoritarian role of the teacher, are precisely those that made mass public education so effective an instrument of adaptation for its place and time.
Now, another thing too is they also said that they purposely, because of the nature, because women are traditionally less argumentative and more understanding. This is why they purposely made most teachers in the beginning, all teachers were women. They only wanted women teachers. It's not in a woman's nature to be argumentative and go against the grain. So women are organizers. You know what I mean? So you give a woman a good plan, in any woman, any queen, give her a good plan and the opportunity to organize. Usually that's gonna turn out way better than you would have had it, because it's just in the queen's nature to be organized. And also naturally speaking, to be able to be better communicators, because kids are going to be up and down. They're going to be good and bad. They're going to be emotional. They're going to be, and usually, typically speaking, women had a temperament to fluctuate with personalities and be more understanding than men do. So you need something like that when you're going to be, kids going to be sitting down for 8 hours and really you're feeding them a whole bullshit story. So you need somebody that with a warm smile and a good personality to make the kids even willing to sit still and try to even hear her out, because This was all a strategic plan.
Future Shock, 1970. Everything Alvin Toffler just said shows the impact that the school system has on kids. It indoctrinates them to become a part of the workforce. And in the early 20th century, this was perfect for titans of industry like Rockefeller. Pumping children through the school system created less entrepreneurs, meaning less competition for Rockefeller. But obviously not everyone can be a billionaire, so what's so wrong with the school system? Honestly, for the average person in the 19th and early 20th century, the school system was great. It provided free education and prepared them to join the workforce, allowing them to contribute to society and provide for their family. Today, traditional schooling is outdated, and this became especially noticeable when the pandemic hit. With the introduction of the internet, the education system should have had a massive change, but it didn't advance nearly as much as the rest of society did. With the introduction of the internet and better technology, so many more jobs were created. The sad part is, for years now, we've been told by our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents that the only way to be successful in life was by going to college. And that was relatively true for most of the 19th and 20th century, but with the introduction of the internet, everything has changed. I'm a 17-year-old kid who runs an eBay and Amazon business, and we did over $200,000 in revenue just in 2020, and I could have pocketed 50 grand if I wanted to. And that's a little bit above the average salary of a college graduate. And I'm only 17. I know hundreds of other teenagers that have made much more money than me. Plus, there's no limit to how much money I can make. The amount of work I put in equals the amount of money I get out, and I'm not in any college debt. Traditional schooling is downright risky. 41% of college students don't use their degrees after graduating. What's the point of going thousands of dollars into debt if you're not even going to use that degree? You went to college because your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents told you to? That's what's screwed up. Yes, the school system hasn't innovated a lot, but our thoughts on schooling are stuck in the 1900s. You can become a DoorDash driver and still have enough to live. You can sell on eBay and Amazon and make more than a college graduate. You can go to trade school, learn about stuff you actually care about, and make a career out of it without going hundreds, thousands of dollars into debt. It is alarming to me that there are so many kids who go into college thinking it's the only way to be successful. But the reality is, a degree is becoming more and more obsolete. And hey, if you don't know what you want to do in life yet, you can always go to community college, become an intern, go to trade school. You can go back to college literally anytime you want in your life. Unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, athlete, there is no reason you should be going through the college system. Factory owners require a docile, agreeable worker who would show up on time and do what their managers told them. The school system was made to produce workers, and that isn't bad, but society thinks that you are a bum if you don't go to college. If you want to work a factory job, if that's what makes you happy, you can easily do it. You don't need to go to college. If you want to be a STEM worker or an athlete, you pretty much have to go to college. But what about the artists, the artisans, musicians, entrepreneurs, any other lifestyle that isn't STEM or factory? Please, do not take the school system so seriously. These schools...
Now, like what he's saying, I don't want, because I know a lot of my people tap in with their children and stuff like that. I by no means want to give you youngers the impression that we're saying school is obsolete, don't go. So now you finna be up all night arguing with your mama like the general said school pointless, I ain't going. No, that's not what the general's saying. The general saying they finagled us with the education. So as a young black man or woman, you need to understand that going in. Understand that you don't have time to play because they've already played with your existence. So you got to go in there, maximize, get the most out of it, but understand that there's a further education outside of your classroom that you need to be having. You need to worry about, okay, every day I'm in here, what am I really working towards? Figure that shit out and move in that direction, so that you don't spend the rest of your life slaving for other people because they're not teaching you how to own things. They're teaching you how to be a worker. The key to our success as a people is group economics and black economics. You can't perpetuate that constantly working for white people. Now you can start working for white people and build from there. That's kind of how most of us got to do it. But keep the goal in mind. Never stop shooting for it, and never stop understanding that the ride's gonna be different for you. You're melanated. You don't got time to get in their school and be playing around and fucking around and chasing girls and chasing boys. No, get in there, get busy, and get out. And learn as much side education is possible. Parents, you should be additionally adding education to your children. If you are not teaching your children additional stuff outside of what they learn in school, you are failing as a melanated parent. You don't know where to start. I got 300 some goddamn videos. Inbox me or go on YouTube. It ain't a topic that your child want to know about that I didn't cover. I promise you. Listen to me. There's not one question your little melanated child could ask you that I don't got a video for. There's not one. Nothing. There's nothing that you or your child could think of that I don't got a video for. Or I can't send you to someone melanated that can teach you what your question is. So therefore, there is no excuse. We passed the point of depending on our oppressor. Only a fool would trust that enemy to educate their children. That's what the shirt says. Oh, and it's got Africa on there, baby. Only a fool would trust his enemy to educate their children. We ain't no fools. We kings and queens, gods and goddesses. So we got to get with the fucking program. Step our game up. It's time we got to play their game so that you got to go to school. After school, it should be a meeting of the minds with the youngin on some weekends in some spare time in passing. Always be trying to kick some extra shit and put it on the mind of your child or children because they're not here to teach them. Y'all be talking about y'all ain't learned nothing in school. They're not supposed to learn nothing in school. I just proved that in an hour and some change. School was not designed for your little black kid to learn shit. So you keep sending them there talking about what's wrong with you if you want to. All kind of shit gonna be wrong with them because it ain't white folks' job to educate black children. There, I said it. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. Yes, you must send your child to their schools every motherfucking day. But you're an asshole if you think it's their responsibility to educate your black child. What the fuck are you doing with your life? I don't want to hear that I be at work. I don't give a fuck where you work at. This is life or death. You don't got an excuse that you could tell me that's going to get me to justify you not teaching your black child shit that white people won't. And white people ain't going to teach them most of the shit. So that means your ass is on duty and you don't get off. Your problem is you looking for some downtime, an off date, some freaking frack and all. No, and no. You have an obligation to a melanated babies, and it's time to get busy. Even I'm talking to myself too, because I've been slacking lately. We have to get busy. I just heard the most impressionable years is 1 through 7. The prince turned 7 in 2 days. Fuck, I got 48 hours to cram this Negro. That's how serious this shit is getting. So, yes, this is war. Y'all see the Queen Mother with the capital W-A-R? This is war. Worry about relatives. That's what the war stands for. Worry about your relations, whatever the fuck. We have to get in this mind frame because we got expectations that aren't realistic. We're expecting them to just stop one day. We're expecting this to just mysteriously go away somehow. We're expecting this to ultimately just get better. We're expecting that the clouds going to part and some white guy with a bunch of angels going to come out and save everybody. We're expecting tons of shit that ain't going to happen. But I tell you what you could do. You could start expecting each other to step up to the plate. And we could get to a space where that could actually be a thing. Until then, you can be expecting more fucking disappointment. Knowledge is the only real power. Information is the only real currency. I love y'all. I'm gone.